Hey, what's going on, Sec Plus preppers? These are the IT Dojo Security Plus questions of the day. I'm Colin Weaver. Every single day I give you 2 questions to ponder and contemplate. Let's get right to it. Okay, here comes question number 1. When you have an IPsec security association between 2 nodes, it represents the encryption algorithms and keys that are going to be used for that particular connection. My question to you is that when you have a whole bunch of connections, or even one, even though the question doesn't say that, but when you got a whole bunch of connections as a server, they could have different parameters. They could be using different encryption algorithms. They could certainly, of course, be using different encryption keys. They will be. How does the server and the client keep track of all that stuff? How do you know which encryption goes with what connection and which packets are arriving, which keys are going with it? Now, I know that I just dramatically reworded the question, but read it yourself. You get the point on what I'm asking you here. Go ahead and take a moment, read those options, click pause, and then when you're ready, click play, and we'll talk about it. All right, first answer choice there says that the server tracks these things, which keys to use for the security associations by IP address. That is not true. That's not how they do it. Second option says FQDN, the fully qualified domain name. Also not true. Third option says the SPI, which is the security parameter index. It's absolutely the way that it's done. The SPI, really, it's not super complicated. It's just a number that goes in and identifies the security association, which is then all mapped to which keys and which algorithms are being used for a particular connection. Keep in mind that there are 2 security associations per connection. They are unidirectional things. So there's one going in one direction, there's another security association going in the other direction. So SPI is what you're looking for. The other options on the list, IV, which is an initialization vector. No, that's just a number to get you started when you're doing some kind of particular cryptographic algorithm. Then you have 802.1x. Nope, that's just there to sound fancy and try and trick you and distract you. And then the very last option also sounds equally impressive, which is certificate mapping. And that in this particular case has nothing to do with our IPsec security association. So SPI is the right answer. All right, question number 2. You are reviewing your firewall configuration and you make note of the fact that both TCP and UDP port 53 are allowed to go outbound from your network. They're allowed to leave. What are the possible reasons that you're doing this? There's the answers. Check them out. Think about it. Click pause if you need to. When you're ready, click play. We'll talk it through. First item on the list is said to allow TCP-based zone transfers. Absolutely, this is one of the options. When 2 DNS servers are transferring zone file information between themselves, called an AXFR or an IXFR, that is a TCP-based communication session to do that. So that's definitely one of the right answers. Second option on the list is to allow for MDNS or multicast DNS resolution of internet or network-based services or web services. No. That's just some junk to try and confuse you. MDNS is all about resolving stuff on the local network without a DNS server. Okay, so no, that's not the right answer. Third option on the list is to allow for UDP-based zone transfers. Negative. DNS does not do zone transfers using UDP. It only does zone transfers using TCP. Next batter up is to support reverse path forwarding for multicast traffic. I'm just messing with you. I put that in there for absolutely no reason other than to try and confuse you if you didn't know what this stuff was all about. That has nothing to do with any of this, so no. Okay, that's not right at all. Next contender is to allow for UDP-based name resolution. You betcha. In fact, that's the overwhelming majority of your DNS traffic is going to be UDP-based name resolution for going in and doing that. Next guy up says to allow for DKIM-enabled mail signing. While certainly DKIM, which is Domain Keys Identified Mail, is going to make use of DNS in order to find the public key for the signed email message, it's not specifically what we're looking for right here. That's not the only reason that you've gone in and opened this up. And then the last option on the list is to allow for TCP-based name resolution. That is actually also correct. TCP-based name resolution is not nearly as common as UDP-based name resolution, but it is absolutely supported and increasingly, particularly as DNSSEC and things like that become more prevalent in the world, you'll see it being used more and more and more often. Now, if you want to test this out, The majority of name resolution traffic that you're going to see coming from your computer is going to be UDP based. But if you wanted to try and force it, for instance, you can, if you're using a computer that has DIG installed on it, you can just go, DIG plus TCP in www.itdojo.com. And if you capture the packets on that, you'll see very much that your query actually goes to the DNS server out on the internet using TCP, and you get resolution back for it. So you can totally go in and do that. All right, 2 more questions down. Nice work. First question was on IPsec Security Association. Second question was on firewall ports and what you're letting TCP and UDP port 43 out for. If you like those questions, please click like. If you want to get questions every single day as you continue to study for your Security Plus exam, make sure you click on subscribe. I guess that I'm done. That's it. I'll see you tomorrow.